Hello everyone, it's Stacy with the Stacy Jill Foundation, and today we are going to talk about being rejected. Are you ready to have a seat on the couch? All right, let's do it. Hi everyone, happy Saturday. I am making this video about being rejected because I have had so many clients come to me about things that they feel they're being rejected by, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's work, whether it's friends and family. But I wanted to address a few things to kind of help people get some clarity. One of the biggest things you have to do when you're dealing with rejection is identify and challenge your thought patterns. A lot of things that people make catastrophic in their life are really minute things, and sometimes it actually happens for the better. You don't realize that leaving one thing and gaining something else was a benefit. For example, let's just say you're in a relationship, you've been in this long-term relationship and everything is going great, but you're feeling off, you're not feeling like things are moving or doing anything different than what you did when you first started, and you guys start to argue about those things, and there could be a million other reasons why you're arguing or having these discussions, but let's just say you end up breaking up. And then you end up finding out more about yourself. You start doing things that you loved. You start, for example, taking a painting class or a cooking class, or you go back to school, or you apply for that job that you didn't before because it was taking away from, your relationship. Then you start learning more about yourself. I'm not saying breaking up with people to pursue careers is the best option. But what I'm saying is, if that happens and you break up with someone, sometimes it is not a negative thing. One of the things that I want you to understand is that things happen. It's life. You're not being rejected in that aspect. You are changing your views on things. So instead of looking at it as I've been rejected, I've been dumped, I've been let go from this job, I've been, I no longer hang out with these friends, they don't like me anymore. Look at things as opportunities. Look at things as, hey, if you didn't fire me from this job, I would have never applied for this job and I would have never got it. Hey, if you never broke up with me, I would have never met this amazing person and became in a relationship with them. Or if you never broke up with me, then I would have never started learning more about myself and figuring out what is best for me. So yes, things happen, but it's life. You're never going to be able to stop living until you die. So what you really have to do is think about things in a different tone, so that instead of feeling slumped and rejected and overlooked or underappreciated, look at things as, hey, this happened so that this can happen, so that I can be here. So there are 4 things that I'm going to talk about to help you with your being rejected feelings, depression, sad, anxiety. One of them is communication. If you are communicating with people properly, and when I say properly, that means honestly, forthcoming, not disrespectful, checking your tone, things like that, you are communicating with them what your expectations are, what you are looking for, what you're trying to accomplish. Then when they are not aligning with those things, those are signs for you that that's not the right person, whether it be a friendship, whether it be a sexual relationship or an intimate relationship, whether it be a job, whether it be friends, family, whatever. Communication is key. And then when you communicate with them exactly what you're looking for and you evaluate their responses, you're allowing yourself to not feel rejected. You're actually thinking about the relationship as well. Is this going to work out? Is this not going to work out? You have to think about things from your perspective and others, and then combine those perspectives and see what the best options are. So the second thing is going to be boundaries. I talk about boundaries a lot, and I do because people have always thought that boundaries are for other people when they really are for yourself. When you set boundaries, you set boundaries to let people know what you will accept and what you will not accept. If they do things that you do not accept, They're not meant to be around you. For example, and this is just keeping it 100 right off the back. I was at a company, and this has happened to me twice, to be honest with you. I've worked at these two companies and was asked to do things that I did not ethically agree with. And then I was let go. I could have looked at that as being rejected, or maybe I should have wavered, or maybe I shouldn't have done this or said this. But boundaries for me, I'm not going to be your fall person. I'm not going to be a person who you can have me to do things that I don't feel like are ethically right. And then who am I becoming? So when you set boundaries, you know it's time to go when those boundaries are being crossed, whether it's a friend, whether it's a job, whether it's a career, whether it's a, loved one, whether it's an intimate relationship. You have to think about yourself and the boundaries you set, and you set those boundaries for a reason, because those are not the boundaries you want to cross. So if people aren't willing to appreciate that, they're not meant to be in your life. So the third one is practice self-care. I know this sounds funny coming from being rejected, but if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't expect others to take care of yourself. One of the biggest things that I've noticed is over the years, I was working so hard to try to pursue careers and companies and things like that I didn't have time to really take care of myself, to meditate, to go get a massage, to get my nails and toes done, or to get my hair done, or to really take time to figure out what I'm eating. I was grabbing things just to grab them on the go instead of really honing in on, hey, I need some home cooked meals so that I can, eat healthier. And in response to that, my body was like, no. So when your body is saying no and you're constantly going, you're not thinking properly. You're not feeling great. I would get frustrated really fast if something wasn't going exactly how I wanted it to go, because I wasn't eating right. I wasn't sleeping enough. I just wasn't practicing self-care. And a lot of that can be detrimental to your relationships and to your work overall. So you have to also take care of yourself in order to make sure that you're not being rejected out of things that you are not handling. So I spoke about this earlier, which is reframing rejection, which it's a part of life. You're not going to get every job you apply for. There's going to be a percentage of times where you're overlooked for someone else. Mentally, though, aligning yourself to think this is life. This is what happens during life. It's not me personally. It's not a personal attack against me. It is a part of life. Then you start to think, okay, well, if I didn't get this job, then I wouldn't apply for this job, which means I wouldn't have been in this situation. So you have to start thinking about things in a different way and reframing rejection. So here's one of the things that I get a lot from people. At the end of the day, I'm just going to keep it 100 with you. There are people who are telling me that, oh my God, this person doesn't want to be around me anymore. This person doesn't want to do this. And I'm getting frustrated because I'm feeling really overwhelmed. Well, have you taken a step back to look at yourself and say, I don't ever want to go anywhere. I don't ever want to do anything. I'm not, changing anything about myself. I'm still doing the stuff in 2025 that I was doing in 1989. Like, you have to grow with the times. And as you grow, people also grow around you, and people change and reevaluate their situations, and what worked for them 10 years ago may not work for them today. So if you have friends that you've been friends with since high school, great. But a lot of times people don't, because they grow apart. Their ambition changes, their living style changes. Some people get married. Some people want to stay single. You have to reevaluate things about yourself, not just other people. Stop pointing the finger all the time and point it this way and say, hey, what is changing in me that is evolving all these changes in my life? So I'm going to be real with you. One of the things that I had to recognize is that I would get frustrated, and I would get frustrated a lot because I would get people who called me all the time to ask me to help them with something. And I would help them with it, not thinking anything of it, because that's just who I am. But then I would start to realize, like, those same people never invite me out for a drink. Those same people never want to come to my house and hang out or invite me to their house. Those same people never say, hey, how are you doing? Just checking in on you. Those same people never say, hey, let's go get lunch or brunch, or hey, let's go hiking, or hey, let's go do this. It's only when they need me do they call. And I had to realize, like, those are not my priority people. I don't need to keep wasting my time jumping to help people who don't have 5 minutes to see how I'm doing. So at the end of the day, that could have been a way for me to feel like, oh my God, I'm being rejected. I'm not being seen as a friend or someone to hang out with or a cool person. No, I looked at that as I need to start reevaluating some stuff in my life, because putting people on a pedestal and jumping and running when people need me to do stuff when I have a million other things to do, and not taking priority of those things to help someone else who could care less about what my schedule is or what I need to do as long as I help them, they became less of a priority to me. I would tell them, no, I can't help you. No, I'm busy. Because I was always busy. I just made time for them. But if they were not making time for me, I decided not to make time for them as well. So look at rejection as a two-way sword. You know, you don't have to do things for people or with people. You do them because you want to. And the same goes for other people. So you have to also look at that as, do I really even want to be around these people if they're rejecting me or not doing the things that I like to do sometimes? So think about rejection differently. Think about rejection as ways to kind of think about your life, and ways to think about what's best for you, and ways to think about how you're going to maneuver in a different path. It's not always, oh my God, the world is coming to an end because I got broke up with, or because I lost a job, or because this or that happened. Sometimes it's for the best. And if you think about it that way, you will live a very happy, healthy, and humble life. I hope that this video has helped someone in the long run with rejection. And I pray that eventually your life is full of rewards and success. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. On May 31st, 2025, from 11 to 5 p.m., I am having a Get It Together Now Women's Conference. Check it out. You can get more information at www.thestacyjewelfoundation.com. Have a great day.